What's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Armed Dragon Thunders. Now, Armed Dragon Thunders is actually a pretty powerful deck. I actually went X1 with this out of locals, and it can definitely go toe to toe with top decks. Like I beat Floowandereeze, Sword Soul, Dragon Link with this deck. So without further ado, let's get right into the deck profile. First, I run the 3 Armed Dragon level 3. Now, the Armed Dragons essentially they go into the next level, like levels 5, 7, and 10. And the cool thing with the Thunder versions rather than the original Armed Dragons is that you can basically go into level 10 on one turn. And they all have effects when they are sent to the graveyard to activate a Dragon Monster's effect. So for example, level 3, you can draw a card. Level 5, you can add one level 5 or higher when Dragon. Level 7 allows you to add an Armed Dragon card. Of course, there's also the Armed Dragon level 10. And essentially, you start out with either the level 3 or in some cases you can start with the level 5 and then you just keep going up. And you want to end on level 10. Now, level 10, you don't really care for its effects. Like, it's got effects where it cannot be destroyed by battle, control of it cannot switch, its name becomes Armed Dragon level 10, and once per turn during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can discard one card from your hand to the graveyard, target one other card on the field, destroy it, and if you do, this card gains 1,000 attack. Like in my duels, that only really came up once, because this is a going second OTK. Basically, you want to let your opponent build a board, and then break it. I also got the Armed Dragon level 10 white. White, again, like level 10, it's not really so much for its effect, but its effect is level 10, but it does actually got a pretty decent effect. First off, you can special summon this card by banishing 2 or banishing Armed Dragon monsters from your field or graveyard whose total level is equal 10. It's like 2 5s, 3 and 7, or level 10, but rarely is it going to be the level 10. And at the start of the damage step, if this card attacks, you can destroy one card in the field. So this can be really useful in clearing up your opponent's board to help go in for game. Also on the 1 Tempest Dragon. Tempest Dragon is definitely like part of the combo. Usually you get it off of the Armed Dragon level 5. You get a Tempest off of 5 and usually get White off of 7. Tempest is more so for its summon effect, considering it can be summoned from both the hand or graveyard by banishing 2 wind monsters. Well, wind and or dragon monsters, which most of this deck is dragon and wind. And even one of the hand traps is wind. So most oftentimes you usually just summon this poke in for a little bit of extra damage. Next, I run 3 Artillery Catapult Turtle. Catapult Turtle, you contribute 1 monster spell summon, 1 Gaia the Fierce Knight monster, or level 5 dragon monster from your hand or deck. aka your level 5. You definitely want to run 3 of this, because let's say you don't open the level 3 or the Armed Dragon Flash. Ooh, that's rough. It's definitely going to limit your plays and what you can do, so you definitely want to have any combination of the 9 cards, the Flash, level 3, and Artillery Catapult Turtle. If you open one of the 3, then you definitely have plays. For hand traps, I run 2 Ash, 2 Ghost Mourner, and 3 Ghost Ogre. If you want to put in like an extra Ash and take out an Ogre, that's also an option. This is just the hand trap lineup I'm running. Ash and Ogre are, I guess, kind of more for like cross out targets. Mona is a card that I've been actually playing a lot recently because not a lot of people are playing it, and it also kind of works around cross out because while people may cross out an Ash or an Ogre, Ghost Mourner isn't something that's likely to get crossed out. And considering like with how heavily traps are how heavily hand traps are being played right now, that's definitely a good option. Moving on to the spells. I run 3 Armed Dragon Flash. Armed Dragon Flash allows you to special summon 1 level 3 Armed Dragon monster from your deck in defense position. So it's essentially an E-Telly for your level 3. And it's also a quick play spell, so you can use it on your opponent's turn, but that's not really likely to happen because most often times, considering this is a going second OTK, basically it's not, the duel isn't going to last long. But it's definitely really good because it can help get that level 3 onto the field to kind of start your combos. Also run the 1 Armed Dragon Lightning. Lightning has 2 effects, but you have to control an Armed Dragon. Essentially, if you can target an Armed Dragon monster you control, then activate one of these effects. Either it gains attack equal to its level times 100, or you can add 1 Armed Dragon monster with an equal or lower level than it from your graveyard to your hand. Depending on the board state, it's going to be different which one you want to activate. Let's say you need a dragon in the hand to discard to activate the effect of one of the armed dragons. You'll use that. Or let's say you don't really need to and you just want to beef up maybe your level 10. So essentially it will gain 1000 attack, which can help with the OTK. Also run 3 Dark Hole and 3 Raigeki. Definitely very important for this strategy, and a lot of people say if you want to go second, play a bunch of hand traps. I'd definitely say that's wrong, and this is proven to be correct because, you know, there's counters for hand traps. Call by the Grave, Cross Out, Apollousa, Gamma. However, for cards like Dark Hole and Raigeki, there are not many outs. Like, the only ones I can really think of are like Baron de Fleur, Savage Dragon, and those aren't cards that are always going to come up. And if anything, those will bait out negation, which is your main goal. Either bait out negation or wipe the board. And once you clear the board, you're going to have an easy path for game. Another option is Lightning Storm, but I do not have Lightning Storm, so honestly, if you want to take like Dark Hole out for Lightning Storm, that is an option because that can also help with back row. I also run 3 Pot of Extravagance. For the most part, we only really use like maybe a few cards in our extra deck, so the rest of it is just resources for Extravagance. And having that draw 2 is definitely going to be very powerful because sometimes you may open a less than desirable hand and maybe Extravagance can fix it, or it can also bait out an Ash Blossom. Also run the 2 Cross Out and the 1 Call by the Grave. It's kind of like help counter with like hand traps and all that. And also run 3 Infinite Impermanence. Moving on to the extra deck. I run 3 Gustav Max. Gustav Max essentially, once per turn you can detach material from this card, burn for 2000. So let's say your Tempest level 10 and white's not able to really finish it. This most often will. Or you can go with the other option and go into Juggernaut Libe. While Juggernaut burns, Libe is more of an attacker. And essentially attack for 6000 attack. And then after that, you would go into Divine Arsenal Zeus. So depending on the board state, if your opponent still has monsters on the board, then going from Libe into Sky Thunder is definitely the way to go. And if you can go for a game, I would definitely go for the Dreadnought. So it really depends on what your opening or what the board state currently is when you're able to go into either one of these. And you definitely want to max out on 3 of these because we do run Pot of Extravagance. And if we banish, let's say, like in one of my duels, I actually banished all copies of my Zeus. And that definitely really hurt in that one duel because I would have gone for Libe into Zeus because the Dreadnought left my opponent with 500 and a chance to actually come back from that, which they did. Also run the 1 Super Dora, just in case like I banish all 3 copies of Libe or the Dreadnought. Also run the 1 Win the Wind Charmer. The Armed Dragon Thunders are wins, surprisingly. Doesn't really make much sense to me why they're wins, but they are. And this can come up occasionally. You can steal an Apollousa, or in actually one instance, I actually stole a Baron de Fleur. And, well, they had to deal with their own Baron de Fleur. Now, the next 4 cards are kind of more of a flex spot, because this is where my side kind of comes in. Because since I don't use the extra deck a whole lot, and considering how this format is going, I do side Super Poly, and I do run the Mud Dragon Swamp and Starving Venom as Super Poly targets, as well as Phoenix the Forester and Mirrorjade the Iceblade Dragon for Ghost Reaper targets. Now, obviously, these are really only for my side deck, which I don't really show my side decks, but I do side Super Poly in this format because it's really good, and it's definitely really pulled its weight. In fact, in one of my duels, like we were like basically on a stalemate, and I drew Super Poly off the Armed Dragon level 3, and I was able to bring out the Mud Dragon to essentially finish it up. So that's it for my Armed Dragon Thunder deck profile. Let me know, what do you think of this deck? I think it's a really cool deck. I definitely say it's an underrated deck because they can go toe-to-toe with top decks, as I've said before, and I went X1 with it, so it does got potential. Of course, with having high level monsters like Floowandereeze, sometimes they can occasionally brick. But without further ado, but that's going to be all for this video, and I will see you in the next video I make. Bye.